Gotta be honest, guys. Um, let's talk about the first way this makes this review is talk about Tim Burton. Now, honestly, this guy is one of has been hailed as one of the most visionary filmmakers of all time. A pioneer of great visuals, a stylistic imagination, and a huge filmography that goes back decades, if not years. The guy has been known for giving us some of the best original films of the 90s, like the stop motion masterpiece Night Before Christmas, and especially his first ever movie with Johnny Depp, Edward Scissorhands. Those films catapulted the guy into where he is today. He originally got his start as an animator for Disney before branching out into feature films. As a matter of fact, one of his first ever, or one of his first official biggest films was the first ever Batman movie in 1989. The old one with Michael Keaton as Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker. He did continue this with Batman Returns, but we're getting off track here. No, what Tim Burton has mostly been known for is his knack for creative, dazzling visuals with a massive imagination to boot. And he later incorporated this into Nightmare Before Christmas, but it wasn't until his later films that he would basically realize this vision. Sure, Edward Scissorhands is one of them, but where this style came mostly to fruition was in his first ever stylistic film, his 2005 remake of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, a remake of the 1980s original with Gene Wilder. However, while Burton was incredibly well praised for his visuals and his take on the story, a lot of fans were definitely baffled because of Johnny Depp's performance, especially how it differed so much from the original film with Gene Wilder, which people loved a lot more. Tim Burton wouldn't be one to give up, however, and he kept his knack for gothic stylistic visuals and storytelling into imagination to his next few films. These include 2010's Dark Shadows, which was hit and miss across the board, and especially other films like his completely off the mark 2012 version of Alice in Wonderland with Johnny Depp once again in that film as the Mad Hatter. And that's what many fans and critics drew the line when it came to Tim Burton. A lot of fans loved him for his stylistic vision, his increasingly wild imagination, and especially his unique takes on many adaptations, like previous films I just named. A lot of people thought him as being way too pretentious, way too over the top, and focusing a lot more on and basically doing the wrong thing and focusing on style over substance and not doing it very well. That being said, his character, that's one of the biggest flaws in his films. His characters can have depth and they can be relatable and funny. Heck, Edward Scissorhands resonated well with so many people. Especially, a lot of people did like his stop-motion anime film, Corpse Bride in 2005. However, the guys despite his characters being good for the most part, his stories don't really have a lot of weight and substance to them, which can kind of make them which can make things kind of get messy along the way. However, due to the huge dividends that his films have paid on both ends, many people didn't care. And here we come to today's film, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Based off the best-selling book by Ransom Riggs, Tim Burton took up this film and decided to make a movie of it himself. Now, he didn't write the screenplay just like his other films, but he was working with Gene Goldman, the screenwriting partner for Matthew Vaughn. And the film had a great cast behind it, including Eva Green as the titular character. It also had some promising stars like Asa Butterfield as the main character, and especially Samuel L. Jackson along the way. So I didn't have much expectations. So I went into this film, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and I went in there. What we get, folks? Well, oh man, this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be tough to decipher, isn't it? But here's the deal, guys. I am a fan of Tim Burton. That guy, like I said, everything I just pointed out about the guy, that's what I like about him. Unfortunately, however, for Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, it represents a case of a book-to-movie adaptation having great potential, but a lot of it being wasted along the way, and not exactly having a good end result as a whole. So, in other words, there are some parts about this film that I do like, but for the most part, I do admit that there were some parts that could have had a lot more improvements. So, it's not one of Tim Burton's best, but it's not bad, I will say that. However, the first place we need to start with is a direction. That comes in Tim Burton himself. as I've said many times in his films, Tim Burton has a huge knack for grand stylistic visions. Basically means he can basically take like a whole era, like say 1950s or even the 2000s. He can basically take those eras and basically make a great movie out of it, and basically make it stylistic. However, like I said, a lot of his movies don't really carry much style of a substance, which makes his characters lose a lot of weight and intimacy. And while he does deliver some good films on occasion, some good characters, he doesn't really put in the time necessary to give them the weight or proper motivation to make him as iconic as, say, Edward Scissorhands or even his version of Willy Wonka, for that matter. Now, I'm not saying and here Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Unfortunately, that's the case, and that leads us. And Tim Burton does do a good job as director overall. His knack for visuals knocks out the park. I love the sweeping shots in this film, and the scenery is excellent, and especially the cinematography, which is really, really good. However, as I point out with the characters, we have to get into those, and here's where I don't want to. Look, guys. And here's where we come to the first. This is where we come to the first flaw about Tim Burton and Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. The lead character. Now what the film was about is a 16-year-old boy named Jacob, who's the lead character, and he basically learns that his grandpa is some kind of strange human called a peculiar, and when he enters a porthole led to by his grandfather before his presumed death, he discovers that his father has a connection to a strange group of people like him, a different time period. So he travels through there to find them. And basically, here's what we have to come to a head with Tim Burton. This guy is a great director. But as I said, this is the wrong version of style of a substance. He can get lazy. And here's where we basically get into the characters. For the most part, we have to start with Jacob. And for Jacob, look, guys, I admit that yes, and most of the film he does ask questions just to learn stuff, but with all his knowledge he accumulates, he never exactly does anything with this knowledge, or even does anything memorable to make him a good character. And I'm not blaming that on Asa Butterfield. That guy's a good actor. He does play this film rather well. Unfortunately, though, he's by far the weakest in this film, and without a central lead character, and it's not going to do his film a lot of favors. Just saying. That being said, the strongest performance in this film is definitely Eva Green. Eva Green. I did like her in 300 Rise of an Empire, and she was good at points in some of her previous films. But in this film, she definitely encapsulates the attitude of a proper 1940s woman. She's stately, she's proper, she's prim, she's astute, and she's definitely everything that makes her character good. And that leads me to my final character mention, Samuel L. Jackson. I'll just say this: he looks like a 1940s version of Don King. Enough said. So overall, the writing isn't right. There's not much I can say about the writing. It's okay for the most part. Although I didn't mind the romance much at all. But overall, I did say that as far as the characters, I think what makes the film falter is that Tim focuses more on the less interesting characters rather than and less time on the more interesting ones, like say the twins or the strong girl or other people like that. Like when they're being described in the film, I was like, I like these people. I want to see more of them and learn more about them. But unfortunately, we don't get that. So overall, man, that was quite a quick review, and not much to say. But here's the deal: I like Tim Burton. The guy's a great director, and he does do a decent job with the source material. But unfortunately, there's not much that he does with this film really kind of makes it better than the original source material. Ransom Riggs is a great writer, and heck, he's written 2 sequels. So if you might see a sequel, maybe Tim Burton can step it up, hopefully. But yeah, Jacob Portman does not do well as the main character. Miss Peregrine is definitely much better. Tim Burton's direction is good. The writing is a little bit subpar, and it focuses more on the less interesting characters rather than the more interesting ones. So for me, okay, well, there are worse movie adaptations, I guess, and Tim Burton's definitely made worse films. So in that case, I'm gonna give this film a 6 out of 10, and I do recommend you see it if you like Tim Burton's films. But otherwise, Tim Burton's made some better films, so I recommend you checking out some of his better films, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Edward Scissorhands, or even Corpse Bride. That one's pretty good. And Tim Burton, if there's a sequel around here, I know he can do better. So, otherwise, if you want Peculiar Time, well, check it out. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you want to like and subscribe, take a look down below. If you guys can basically see by the card up here, you guys, I now have open an option for you guys to help support my channel, keep these videos going. I really love you guys' support, and I want to keep doing this more and more. And I want to get better and better. I want you guys to help me out with that. If you guys can please donate to my channel, donate anything, donate as little or as much as you like, I will greatly appreciate it. Your donations are very, very appreciated. If there's anything you'd like me to do to update things, just let me know. But until then, I'm Asa Butler. You're watching M&M Weekly, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a peculiar day.